we're doing a super exciting, actually like multiple videos today. There's gonna be videos on Mandie's channel, on my channel, and on our guest artist, well, I guess guest models channel. So we're doing a video collab today. We're going to be doing a color, and each one of us are gonna kind of have a different take on this, but we're having some fun today, doing a house call, and some great things are happening. So if you guys wanna see this hair, keep on watching.
Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and if you guys want to check out Mandie and Jennifer's Instagrams, I will link them below for you in box. All right, so let's get started on this magical go-go girl transformation. So here we have Jennifer Murphy. She is a little YouTube star and kind of dabbles in a whole bunch of other stuff and women empowerment. So you guys can see, girls got some roots. So we talked, hashed it out, figured out that Jennifer, you know, J-Lo, it kind of goes together. So we were kind of J-Lo inspired to cover up her roots and give her a whole transformation. So we did 2 sections for the back area. Then we sectioned out her sides, starting from her parietal ridge on top to the ear. And then we had a straight mohawk section on top. So that is our sectioning. We're going to mix up our lightener. Don't forget, everything that I use will be listed in the description box below. So if you guys want to see what formula, please check that out. So I'm using Oligo and 20 volume because, guys, this lightener is bomb. Add a little bit of olaplex. We added in 1/8 olaplex for foil highlights. Mix it all together, and this is going to lift the hair so well, even though Jennifer is a level 5. I added in some Rejuvenate oil from Monat to add extra protection. So I'm going to be showing you guys the detailed hairline work, not the back. I will tell you what I did in the back, but it's pretty much the same thing that I'm doing on the side. So starting near her hairline, what I do is I don't leave hair out in the front except for the little tiny baby hairs because we want her to be as blonde as possible in the front, okay? So the first foils that I do are more slices, okay? So these are baby slices, so very, very, very fine. Obviously not to where you can't see it, but finer slices in the front. And I'm going to pack it in, and we're going to get a little bit more detailed on this next one. So I'm going right behind that, kind of getting a perfect little section that's nice and straight. I'm going to pull down that hair. You guys can see it is see-through. It is very fine. So I did the first one, a slice. Now I'm going to be doing a baby light, okay? So I like to do a slice in the front, so it's very, very blonde right there, and then I like to back it up with a baby light. If they want to be really, really blonde in the front, you can do 2 to 3 baby slices in the front. It just depends on what they're going for. And check out Mandie working her way in the back. She's knocking out a whole bunch of foils because, you guys, we work as a team, and this whole collab was Mandie and me working on Jennifer and having fun. In the back, she is doing a highlight, low light. So we're copying the same formula that we're doing in the back as in the front. We're both working on one side of the head and then finishing this up together. So working on my next section, I'm going to take another baby light out from this part. You guys can see I don't have like a dropout section that's like a subsection. I'm literally working on that entire section, just dropping out the pieces that are weaved out. So placing my foil on my comb, then I place the hair over the foil, and the foil is going to get locked onto the head. And I like to start a little bit away from the actual grow outline. That way I can move up to what I need, and I'm only touching the regrowth. I do not need to add any more lightener on her hair because it's already processed and we don't want to create any damage or breakage. So I'm going to lock that foil in. And a few tips on foiling is make sure that your sections are nice and neat and clean. If you feel like your section is not nice and neat and clean, you need to go back and resection it out. So for this J-Lo inspired hair, we're doing more of a chunky, weavy look. So the first foils I did finer, softer because we want it to be that way in the front. But now we're going to get into a little bit heavier hand of weaves. So you guys can see I just weaved out a much larger section because now we're going to add a low light, okay? So basically what we're doing on this head is highlight, low light, highlight, low light. And you guys can see we are using the Shades EQ cream formula, which is listed down in the description box. And I am going to be pulling this about 2/3 of the way through her hair. I'm going to fold that bottom foil over the left out blonde ends to make sure that those do not get color on them. And then I'm going to fold this up and tuck it all in. We're using a 6NA, 6N, and 6WM for a really gorgeous neutral tone of a low light. And then we're just going to be kind of going through this on the hair. So you guys can see, now I'm getting into these chunkier weaves. We are kind of making this a little bit more dimensional, a little bit more distinct in what we were trying to put into her hair. And now you can also see I'm going into some larger sections. So I've done 2 highlights now, adding in my highlight formula, going over any of that darkness, and then I'll be adding in some lowlights throughout. So this is a really great weave style for people who want a little bit more distinct color, and don't be afraid of thicker pieces because we're going to show you how we're going to cover this up in the end. So now I have worked in diagonal back sections in the back. We've just worked up the head. There's nothing different than the front other than I did not do any slices. I did not do any baby lights. We just did thicker weave sections all throughout the back. Now I'm following up. You guys can see we kind of met in the back for a little mini triangle, and what I'm doing is I'm starting to follow up. This is going to be an entire mohawk section going from her crown all the way to her front hairline. So I'm just going to start taking some highlights in this back corner, going to finish it up into that top section and then finish onto that mohawk. So I'm grabbing my thicker pieces to do my highlights and my lowlights. I like to start out with highlights so there isn't a little dark triangle right there. So adding in that lightener just like we did on those other foils, just on the regrowth and any under processed hair color that she might have. Folding this up, tucking it all away and in. I don't know, I like to call it tucked in. I don't know what other people call it, maybe just folding, but I like to say I'm tucking it in, okay? So now we're gonna move on to a low light. So I did 2 highlights. We're going to go to our low because that's our flow. Highlight, highlight, low light. Now I'm going to put this on. Let's talk about her low light formula. So we love adding neutrals, golds, and ashes to create the perfect low light formula. You guys can see we're bringing this, making sure saturation is nice and even so we don't get any splotchiness. I'm going to tuck those ends to the side, pre-fold that right there so they do not get touched or get blotchy, and then we're going to tuck in our foils on the sides. These formulas and this Shades EQ by Redken is the best. Now we always change it up depending on what our client's hair is like, what we're working on, previous color, all of that. So this is going to ensure that we're going to get a really beautiful coverage on her blonde without it going too ashy, too gold, too just either or. We're going to get a really nice neutral. So going back into our highlights, I'm going to do another 2 highlights and then a low light. You guys, I could watch highlighting all day. I could watch myself highlight. I could watch other people highlight. I love watching this process. I mean, that's why I do these videos. It's fun to do, right? And it's so much fun to learn these processes. Another thing is I love to use longer weave combs. So I like to use the extra long weave combs because I can get my foil all the way across and my foil lays completely on my brush on that little metal rat tail comb end. I don't have to worry about it like sticking off or being weird or anything like that. So I just love these, and I honestly get mine at Sally's because I can't find them anywhere else for these longer ends. I can buy like a 2 or 3 pack there. So we're going to be doing the same pattern all the way up to the front of the hairline, and Mandie's going to finish up that front so we meet in the middle. I think that low lighting is kind of scary and we want to baby weave it out, but we don't want to baby weave if you want to actually see a low light. If you want that color in there, don't be afraid to chunk it out a little bit. So now that we've done all of this highlighting, we need to heat it up a little bit because we're doing a house call, okay? We're at Jennifer's house. We do not have our fancy heaters with us. So we had to use a little bit of our blow dryer action, and I wanted to show you guys kind of the sectioning. So we have our sides, we have our top, and now the truth is going to be revealed. Look at how beautiful this color lifted. The perfect pale blonde, the inside of a banana peel, and look at that low light. Look at that blonde end. It is going to be so pretty. I mean, I've already seen it, so I know what it looks like, but you guys are waiting for the reveal. So pulling out these highlights, making sure that everything is processed equally, and we have rinsed everything out, and now this is what we're left with. Are you freaking out right now? Because you shouldn't be. Here's our root smudge formula to match those lowlights. 1 inch in the back to going to a very small tapping in the front. And I'm going to be coming out with a video on this type of technique specifically so you guys can see it. And then what we did is we did a Bye Bye Yellow toner, more JLo hair color. So while the root smudge was still sitting, we started to apply this. Now this, because of the way that we mixed it with a permanent color added into our Shades EQ gloss formula, we are going to put this on and act like it is a flash toner. So I'm going to get this on and let this process for about 8 minutes. I'm going to rinse the back first, then rinse out the front. Mandie and I are both working on this at the same time. You guys just can only see little clips of it. And here is the big reveal! You guys, we have taken out all of the brassy yellowness, given her a very soft, gorgeous color. I mean, hello, look at that root transformation. I think Mandie and I killed it. We had so much fun doing this. I love collabing with my bestie. Please check out the links in the description box so you guys can go follow Mandie, go follow Jennifer, check out their videos, check out their channels, and go subscribe to them and like this video if you want to see more collaborations and more hair tutorials, because there can always be more.